Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day wherever you are. As you know, we are a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Poola Guy, the chickens, all of us here at Sussex Squad, and Mama Mia. Anyways, what is going on with our faves who have been quiet since they've been, since they left New York, whenever ago that was last week. We are happy wherever they are, maybe under a tree somewhere in Montecito. We're just happy that they're, whatever it is they're doing, we'll wait until we see them again. But it's so funny. I saw these pictures on not Instagram, on Twitter, and I was like, oh, I just love them. I was like, oh, I love these pictures. Of course, the one on the left is from the Germany, in Düsseldorf, at the games, at the Invictus Games a couple months ago, or a month ago, and of course, and then the one on the right, I'm assuming it's in the UK, but I don't know what's obviously on an engagement because you could see kids in the back of them there, but I don't know what engagement that was. I don't really know. Again, I really started following the Sussexes at baby Archie's baby shower. So a lot of the photos before that, I'm still like trying to figure out what was this? Where was this engagement? I don't know. I'm a little bit backwards on that, but I love these pictures. They are just awesome. And I don't know, for no reason, I just love them. But it's always, I love how Harry and Meghan, they're always like so in sync. Like they sort of mimic each other. And I love that. I absolutely love how they mimic each other in so many ways. And it's like, the same leg, or at least this one is the same pointing. It just is very funny how they're like, two peas in a pod in a lot of ways. So I just love them for that. But anyway, what else is going on around the Sussex, fair, I would say, even though they're quiet and under their tree somewhere. Dr. Murthy posted this on Twitter today, and I love him. I was just like, I never paid attention to surgeon generals before. Like, they put out their reports and stuff like that, and that's important, so you pay attention to it. But as a people, just, again, hearing him for the first time in New York last week when he was part of this the Archewell Summit with Harry and Meghan, it's like there's such a man of empathy and love, and you could just see it. It's so in him that even when he tweets, you could feel the love through the tweet. And so I was just like, oh, so yesterday he posted this about the summit, and I was like, you see, this is the thing, I love how they're the ones posting it, and even we shared the photo yesterday with Harry and Meghan, and also the second gentleman, Doug Emhoff, who is VP Kamala Harris's husband. The Sussexes didn't have to share it. They didn't share it. It was his, I guess, private secretary that shared it on Instagram, apparently. And so it's just so fantastic. And obviously, I love the fact that, it's kind of hard to see at the bottom, but it's so far when I captured it, it had like over 169,000 views. And so I'm glad that people are, they are reading it, they are looking at it. And so, hey, more and more people will get to know about the fight for internet safety and for the mental health of our youths. And so he tweeted this. He says it's important to have parents in the room when talking about social media's impact on youth mental health. That's why Archewell Foundation and I came together on World Mental Health Day to hear from parents about their experiences and discuss a path forward to a safer online world. And the fight is such a worthy fight. It's so great to see these parents coming out, even though they've really gone through, they've been put through the ringer. A lot of them losing their kids to bullying online, harmful internet content, and all of that stuff where their kids are engaged in. And this is just a, drop in the bucket to the amount of families that have suffered the horror of losing a child because of the horrible content on social media, especially. So it is just really such a worthy cause. And I'm so great that the Sussexes are filling that space and creating a community in that space where none existed. And that they have, really including government officials like our Surgeon General, who is part of it. And of course, this happened last Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, at least New York jumped right on it. And they were like, here, legislation, we're doing something about it. We're making changes to what, internet company can and cannot do when it has to do with youth. So we can protect the youth's privacy. We can protect them from harmful content online. We can, and then we could, especially protecting them from algorithms that feed stuff to them that are harmful. And so, like Prince Harry said, please stop, feeding our kids things that you wouldn't want your kids to see. Stop sending stuff like that to children that you wouldn't want your children to see online. And a lot of these internet, people who work for these internet companies, either they nor their family are online. They know the dangers of it, and they would not allow their children to be online, or some of them have erased it from their phone. I mean, we've watched the documentary from Tristan Harris and those guys who participated in that documentary that talked about this. A lot of them have deleted it from there because they know the danger and how harmful it is. And so I am so happy to see Harry and Meghan in that space, bringing in families, bringing in government officials. And as Meghan said, talking to these tech companies and, privately having meetings with them, talking to them, and then meeting together with these throughout for a year, meeting with families and teens around the country, and even in Germany and the UK, where they just had the Invictus Games, and also Harry in the UK. So this is they're taking this global, because this is it doesn't matter what country you're in. Every single child who is on the internet, there's a potential harm there for them. So it is just, Harry and Meghan are our global ambassadors, fighting for our kids online and fighting for their safety online. It's such a worthy cause. It is such an incredible thing. And it's so wonderful to see the incredible community that they are building. And Dr. Murthy said, just like MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, it's look, one child dying is too much. We are way past that for internet, the harm that internet are doing. And so it is great. And it'll be great to see this community have the prominence of MAD, where mothers and fathers are coming together no, enough is enough. We are not going to stand by and allow one more child to die because of harmful internet content. So I love it. I'm kudos to them for the incredible work that they've been doing for the past year. And of course, now my favorite surgeon. I was I love Dr. Murthy. And so, he's, I didn't realize he was so, he is so up on Twitter, and he posts constantly, or at least his office posts constantly on Twitter. And so this was his Monday health and mental health Mondays. And this is direct from the Surgeon General office. So this is a command to all of us, including me. And this is one of the reasons why I chose this from today. It was yep, this is what I need. It says adequate sleep, 7 to 9 hours for most adults, is critical to our mental health and physical health. The failure to get enough sleep can increase risk of obesity, diabetes, and other health problems. This Mental Health Monday, I am encouraging you to get some well-deserved rest. So that's for all of us. And so it goes on at the bottom. It says, get quality sleep. Limit the use of phones, tablets, and computers for at least 1 hour before bed and through the night to enable sufficient and quality sleep. And so if you're anything like me, I've hated sleep from the time I think I came out of the womb. I do not like to go to sleep. It is just one of those things. And as an adult, and lately, I have serious case of FOMO, especially when there are crazy stuff going on in the world. I'm always feeling like, oh gosh, I'm going to miss out. If I go to sleep, I'm going to miss out. So I stay up sometimes until 3, 4 in the morning, or sometimes I literally do not go to sleep. And it just it's so hard to go to sleep. And if I get up during the night, I don't want to go back to sleep. I just want to stay up. And it's just I literally have to force myself to go to sleep and force myself to turn the lights out to go to sleep. So this is for me. And so if any of you are like me who hate going to sleep, don't even mention sleeping during the day. That is I have never, unless I am really, really sick. And if I'm sleeping in the day, you know I'm really sick because I will never go, as long as there's light outside, I would never go to sleep. So, so if you're like me, prioritize sleep, especially, we are not, if you're like me, I'm not, I'm not a 20-year-old anymore. And so it's kind of like it's required. So that I'm preaching to myself as well. Well, really preaching to myself. So there you go. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Prioritize sleep. So there you go. Thank you, Dr. Murthy, for the Mental Health Monday. And then there's this. I didn't even know this was a thing. I was just like, huh? I saw this popped up on Twitter, and I was just like, and I honestly, I haven't even gotten a chance to go and check it out because I don't go on, go looking at the royal family websites. I'm not interested. I do not go for, unless there's a specific reason. I'm going to William and Kate's Instagram, or not even their Instagram. I don't even go to there. It's just their Twitter, because I really just only follow royal stuff on Twitter, and on Spoutable. And so I don't even go there unless there's a specific reason I'm going there. So I would not just go perusing the royal family website. And so I know there was a whole drama before because, they didn't put in Archie and Lilibet's titles. And then there was a whole drama again about the HRH. And I was just like, I can't even, this is just nonsense. I can't even be bothered with this nonsense, especially the fact that the Sussexes are not even there. So who cares what they put on their website? It's probably not even updated anyway. So apparently this dropped a couple of days ago, yesterday. And I was just like, huh? And I literally have not had a chance to go. This is from Twitter. And so I've not had a chance to go even research it. So because I don't even know if it's saying. And so apparently this is what it says. And the whole thing is, whomever it is that saw it and posted it on Twitter said it somehow changed from, I guess, whenever, And so I was like, okay, well, this is what it says. The Duke of Sussex is fifth in line to the throne and the youngest son of the king and Diana, Princess of Wales. He spent 10 years working in the armed forces and did operational duties in 2015. During his service, he conducted 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan with the British Army. As announced in January 2020, the Duke and Duchess have stepped back as senior members of the royal family. They are balancing time between the UK and North America, continuing to honor their duty to the king. And so when I read that, I was like, huh? Wait. When did that happen? The Commonwealth and their patronages. And I'm like, you mean the one you took away? So that part, what they were saying, like it changed. So that part, again, I don't know if all of this has been there the whole time. And because again, I don't go over there and I didn't read it. And so I have no idea. And so and of course I don't have receipts of, what it was, but, they said it's changed. So I don't know what it said before. And if all of this was there for like he's been king for like a year. So I don't know if this was there all this time since he's been king and no one knew. It's been definitely not me. But now I'm reading it was just like, wait a minute. Back up. The Duke has stepped back as senior members of the royal family. They're balancing time between the UK and North America. Wasn't that what the Sussex website said when they wanted a half in, half out, and they were told no? Well, isn't this what they said? And they were told no. So how come this is on the website? I mean, was that there all the time and we just didn't notice? And then it goes on to say, continuing to honor their duty to the king. When did the Sussexes say they were honoring duty to the king? Wasn't it Queen Betty? I mean, again, the only thing I know for sure that was there before was the honoring to the queen. That's what the Sussexes website said. And so obviously they had to have changed the king, the queen, if that was there before then, that they were honoring their duty to the Queen. So we know within the last year they changed this to king, because again, Charles has only been there to king, but they're still honoring duties to the Commonwealth and patronages. I mean, y'all took back those patronages, remember? And you stripped them of their Commonwealth, president and vice president of the Queen's Commonwealth. You all stripped them of that, remember? And so I'm like, huh, that's interesting. And again, was that always there and we just didn't notice? I have no idea, because it's very interesting to me. I know definitely the king wouldn't have been there, beyond a year ago, because he's only become king. So I know that's definitely changed. So maybe they did a word search and then, did change queen to king and for the whole website, and then he just updated to king. That could have been the situation as well. But it's just very, very interesting. I was like, when did Harry and Meghan say they were honoring duty to the king? I don't remember that. I remember them saying that on their Sussex Royal website. They were wanting to honor their duty to the Queen. So I don't know about this king stuff. But anyways, moving on to what it says about the Duchess of Sussex. Duchess of Sussex, born Rachel Meghan Markle, married Prince Harry at St. George's Chapel, Windsor in 2018. The Duke and Duchess have 2 children, Prince Archie of Sussex and Princess Lilibet of Sussex. So we know that they updated that part, I guess, earlier in the year when that big hubbub happened, when it's like, people like, why isn't Archie and Lilibet Prince and Princess? And then Duchess and Harry and Meghan were like, well, they became Prince and Princess in September. The day the Queen died, they automatically became Prince and Princess. So, whether the royal family updated their website or not, that's on them. But it's an automatic thing. Anyway, it goes on to say, as an announcement in January 2020, the Duke and Duchess have stepped back as senior members of the royal family. They are, again, they are balancing their time between the United Kingdom and North America, continuing to honor their duty to their monarch. So they use monarch instead of king here. The Commonwealth and their patronesses, again, y'all strip them of the titles, Queen and the president and vice president of the Commonwealth. Just remember, you took that away, and then you took away their patronages, and so they don't have those. They just have stuff that they had, that they are personally engaging. Remember, you all took stuff. Yeah. So I don't know why that is there. And again, this honoring duty to the monarch, like, again, Queen Betty, they were very specific when they wrote that on Sussex Royal, that their duty was to the Queen Betty, who they actually had a relationship with, who they love and they respected. Don't think they have that same feeling towards Charles. So unless that has changed, I mean, we don't know what goes on behind the closed doors and people's, we don't know what has developed, and maybe feelings have changed and maybe apologies have been made. We don't know. I don't know. Of course, if you listen to the royal reporters, it's a whole different, lies that they've been telling based on their own feelings. But as far as we know, we don't know any of those things. We don't know if things have changed. So we don't know what that duty to the monarch nonsense is, and honoring duty. Like, what duty do they have to the Commonwealth when you already stripped that? They live in America, in a whole new country, continent. There's nothing to do with the Commonwealth. You know what I mean? And then the patronages, like, again, y'all took those, remember? So I don't know what this website is talking about. Again, was that always there and we didn't notice? Again, I don't go on their site. I don't know. So maybe if you guys, when I post this later on, maybe we can chat about it. Maybe you guys have receipts of what it was before today, and maybe it was different. I don't know. It goes on to say the Duchess will continue to support a number of charitable causes and organizations that reflects the issues with which she has long been associated, including arts, access to education, support of women, and animal welfare. The Duchess' official titles are the Duchess of Sussex, Countess of Dumbarton, and Baroness Khalil. And so, again, don't know what's going on there. But my question is that, honor duty to the king? That's what's suspect, because, again, I don't know about that. Remember when in Spare, Harry talked about, how Charles basically, how rude he was to Meghan. How, one, he banned her from going to Balmoral. And then when he, tried to say why he didn't want Meghan, Harry had to pull him up and be like, do not ever speak to my wife that way. Harry even said to Brianna Gordon when she interviewed him at his home in California for Spare that William and Charles, need to apologize to Meghan for what they have done. Harry didn't specifically go into all the stuff, what they have done. They know they need to apologize. I don't see this honoring King Charles nonsense. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. I could be wrong. Again, we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Maybe apologies were made. Maybe relationships are being restored. I don't know. But it's rather curious. I'm like, I don't definitely know that neither Meghan nor Harry have publicly said anything about honoring duty to King Charles. They never did. In fact, it's like, you are a horrible father, worst king and horrible father. I don't know anything about it. And then they're going to be balancing their time. Again, this is language from Sussex Royal. That's what they wanted to do when they wanted the half in, half out. And the royal family said no. And so they're like, okay, then deuces, we are out. We are gone. They gave them a year to see if they will fall on their faces and come back. And then in January 2021, Harry and Meghan said, no, we're not coming. We are out. We are peaced out. This is since 2020. Why are we in 2023 talking about honoring duty to the king and they're going to be continuing their duties in the Commonwealth and pay? Like, people, move on. Move on. So again, if this is a new update, there is something really like, people, this is crazy. This is crazy. As I was recording this, a piece of peanut got caught in my throat. That's why you don't eat peanuts right before you go record something, because it could get caught in your throat. So if my voice sounds different, that's why I had to stop the recording and cough and then come back. And it's just like, oh crap. It's a good thing I'm not live, because at least now I can edit out my coughing. So if my voice go in and out, that is why. So a little word of advice: if you're going to be recording stuff, don't eat peanuts right before. Never a good thing. So anyways, hopefully it's hopefully it's okay, and my voice doesn't go in and out too much. But anyways, back to our craziness here. So anyways, I look forward to chatting with you guys about this. Again, I haven't gone researching any of this stuff. I don't have any receipts of what this website was supposedly said before. Who knows? But yes, highly suspect in any way. But it's so funny because I saw someone on Twitter was like, the royal family is trying to distract us. I'm like, well, they had their website there, and y'all went to these people's website and then go and looking up Harriet. But why are you there in the first place? I don't know. But then how are they trying to distract you when you're the one that went there looking for this stuff? So it's just like, sometimes us squaddies need to just get off the internet and then just go find a hobby or something. I just really think so. But anyway, it's just kind of funny. I saw that. It's like, the royal family is trying to distract us. I'm like, well, actually, no, you went and find that stuff. So anyway, enough said on this nonsense, but it was just very interesting to me. It's very, very, very funny, but it'll be interesting. I mean, whether other people pick it up and to see what again, honoring the king. It's like, well, sure. Anyway, moving on. I never saw this photo before. Did I? I mean, I don't think I saw this. Obviously, this was when Harry and Meghan were at the Intrepid, and I went there to get a photo of them, and I got that red blur, and that's all I got, that red blur. And so when they were at the Intrepid and honoring, servicemen and women who with invisible injuries. And so I didn't realize, I mean, I don't know if I knew this. I didn't know that Bon Jovi was there. So that's Bon Jovi obviously there under Harry's right. And we know Bon Jovi did the song, the Invictus song that they were going to use for the Invictus Games at The Hague. But that year that he did it, they had to cancel because of COVID. And of course, you know, they did it last year. And so it's like, I was born to be a something. And Harry was there at the recording and all of that stuff. And they did that Abbey Road kind of walking across the street thing. I think that's what it's called, Abbey Road, right? I think the Beatles, you know, thing on the street that they walked across with a bunch of vets. So they did all that. And so very cool. But yeah, I mean, I don't know who the people are on the right. It looks like a couple on the right. I don't know who they are, but they all seem to have had a great time at the Intrepid last year. Or was that 2 years ago? I don't know. It's my years are rolling into one now. So anyways, moving on. But again, I don't think I ever saw this picture. But I mean, John Bon Jovi is such a great advocate for the military. I think his parents were military, and he has just always supported the military, and actually has a great relationship with the royal family, with both Harry and William, to be honest. So yeah. So, but it was great to see him there, you know. So very, very exciting. And my voice is going out again. So hopefully it doesn't. Invictus Games is obviously the 2025 games is coming up shortly. Really, 2025 is gonna get here really, really fast. I mean, they are counting down the months as we speak. You know, they have the countdown clock going. I mean, they have been going since before the Dusseldorf games, so they are so excited about it. So they, the Invictus Foundation posted today, winter is coming to the Invictus Games. Watch a short film about the team of wounded and injured servicemen and women that we sponsored to take part in the Armed Forces Para Snow Sports Championships earlier this year. Some members of the team had never done winter sports before. Some had never even seen snow before. And we, you know, on our podcast here, we definitely featured quite a few of them, including the vets from Nigeria who came, especially one who had no arms, and he was skiing, and it was amazing. And so they put together a whole film. I think it's like 10 or 12-minute film. And I'm going to actually post a link to it in our community page so you can watch it just in case you haven't seen it. But it was really, really wonderful. And I mean, again, we talked about it and, you know, had pictures and little videos of them, you know, being on snow for the first time, and they were doing amazing. So I think you'd be really inspired by this video or this film that they have created. It's just really, really awesome. And also they are putting out an application for next year's team. So they're the team, you know, some of them did it this past year. So for next year, they have the applications open for next year's Invictus team at the Armed Forces Para Sports team. That's the, you know, the AFPST, the Armed Forces Para Sports sports team. I think that's how they termed it, championship in 2024. So if you're a vet or if you know a vet, and you know, they can definitely, you know, when you click on the link, this is what you'll see. They can either sign up to be a part of the Invictus Games Foundation, and or if they already are and they want to be a part of this team to go, I guess they're going to be back in Vancouver or Whistler, Whistler, where they're, you know, they're doing all that skiing out there. They can go out there and they, you know, if they're chosen, I guess they can go out there and they can, you know, be part of it. Again, Invictus is not just the games. There's so many things that they do throughout the year for vets, and vets can be a part of. So it's just really awesome to know that it's there. But that's, you know, I guess that's the the team from this year that were out there, they had a great time. I mean, and a lot of them, again, it's Paris, so it's like a lot of them have lost limbs, and both, two, 3 limbs, whatever, and they're out there skiing and having a snowboarding and having a grand old time. So yeah, it is definitely. I'll put the link in our community page. Definitely watch it. It is so inspiring to see. It's like, oh my goodness. I love the Nigerian team on there because, I'm assuming many, had never seen snow, because if snow isn't in your country, you wouldn't see, before I came to this country, I had never seen snow. So it was just really wild. Yeah, it was just, they had a great time. So there you go. And again, I love that the Invictus Foundation, they are promoting Heart of Invictus, obviously. And one of the things is, like, when it came out, there's so many people who are more about, oh gosh, how many views and all of that stuff. And it's like, no, this film is not like that. It's a different kind of film. It's not just a film for, it's a few minutes, you watch it, and then for a little period, it's popular and all of that stuff, and then you don't hear about it again. No, they have this film that for years and years on, it's the struggle is, pretty much the same. You know what I mean? So vets, 5-10 years could go back and watch this film and really see, and really be able to, I guess, identify with the struggle, and it's there to inspire and encourage others that they're not alone. So it's not the kind of film where it's just about numbers and all of that stuff. That's not the kind of film this is, or at least docuseries this is. So. So Invictus says, if you haven't already, be sure to check out the Netflix documentary Heart of Invictus, as we have just 16 months to go. I can see they're counting down. We have just 16 months to go until Invictus Games 2025, Vancouver Whistler 2025. And this series perfectly encapsulates what the competitors go through on their recovery journey. And again, this is one of those time, put this film in a capsule. This is one of those things that for years to come, vets, got to be watching, you know what I mean? And so it's so, I mean, you think about this, you think about the Me You Can't See, all of this stuff I think the other one, something Phoenix, I forgot what the whole, I forgot what the whole name of it is, even though, it's about athletics and with disability, people with disabilities and all of that stuff, but it just really, really, all of these films are like that. They're not just, it's like, oh, what numbers are. But anyways, definitely, if you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it. And and if you know of that, definitely share this with them. So it's kudos to Invictus Games that they are out there promoting all of these things that can help vets, again, all through the year, no matter what. So anyway, so moving away from that, it's so funny. I'm always doing my red when it's a hot button issue. We know what's going on in Gaza. We know what's going on in Israel. There's on both sides, people are either dying or homeless or, in dire straits and in need of food. And so World Central Kitchen is there. And they have today, they said, I think this was yesterday, actually, they said they started be able to get food into Gaza. One of the things that happened, I know, when I think what was reported, at least, was the U.S. wanted to evacuate American Jews living in Gaza, and but the only route to get out was through Egypt, and Egypt was like, no. We are only going to allow them to leave if you bring in aid for the people of Palestine. And so it's kind of like a trade. And so thank you, Egypt, who seems to be more, have more of a humanitarian mind than even the US. And so I guess, what I heard today was that there's like a period of 5 hours or whatever it was, that it was like a ceasefire, I guess. I mean, I don't know how true it is. That's sort of what you hear sort of through the grapevine on Twitter and stuff. So anyway, whatever it is happened, aid has been, some aid at least has been able to get through to people who are starving, food, water, and all of those things. World Central Kitchen says today, one of their partners in Gaza was able to distribute 500 food parcels to people. The boxes include items that are ready to eat. Today, deliveries went to 2 schools and 2 other shelters housing displaced families. So that is great news. That is great news that food is going in, water is going in. But again, the situation there is dire because of what Israel has done. And so it just I can't even. So again, this is great. This is great news. At least it's the best news we've heard in for a while there. So at least some people. But again, there how many millions of Palestinians that are there that need aid? This is just 500. So the need is great. Not just food, but medical supplies, water, sanitary situations, because all of that is bombed out. So it just, it is a dire situation. But at least for 500 people, they got some food. How long it will last, I have no idea. But just pray for God's grace in this situation. That it just Anyways, moving on. As we said, we talked about in the last episode, different governments are beginning to either backtrack or start really becoming sober about the situation that's going on in the Middle East. And it's just you can't be, again, we've talked about this forever, you can't be there claiming that, you are a government and that is about human rights when you are basically co-signing genocide. And so, it just, you see, if we saw France backtracking a little bit. And again, when China calls you out, you're in a bad way when you are called out with China, who, as people have been talking about, we have horrible human rights record. When they're calling you out, you're in a bad way, So Spectator Indexes says, breaking, China's foreign minister says Israel's government must stop collective punishment on the residents of Gaza. And again, they claim that they're going after Hamas, but really they have been bombing the people, women, children, hospital. I mean, they've just really committing criminal acts, war crimes against the people of Gaza. And so when China calls you out, again, it's there's nothing worse. Spain's prime minister says Israel has the right to defend itself, as any country does, but always within the limits of international humanitarian law. Again, you have a right to defend yourself if someone comes at you, but as we know, you are the one, you know what I mean? And yes, if a group as they kind of, Hamas did, they went against them and did all that atrocity against Israel. Yeah, go try to find Hamas, but you can't just go, indiscriminately wiping out innocent children and people that have nothing to do with Hamas. You can't, that is against international law. And then just, you can't do that. And so, I mean, and again, with all of this stuff, you're realizing that, nobody is stopping them and they just keep doing it. And whatever. Anyway, so Justin Trudeau, Canada's prime minister, says Canada is deeply concerned by the dire humanitarian situation in Gaza Strip. Unimpeded humanitarian access is essential to address the urgent needs of civilians. Canada calls for international law, including humanitarian and human rights law, to be respected. So it's good to see. I mean, Canada is one of those peaceful countries, so it's good to see that they are not going to be engaging in that, that mess of what Israel is doing. I understand. I mean, I I try to look for reputable sites to see where even I think was it Colombia, one of them that says that they are cutting, or at least for now, cutting ties with Israel because of what is happening there. I think more and more government, this is what more and more government need to do. Disassociate themselves from what is happening, because again, it's war crimes. There is no ands, ifs, or buts about what Israel is doing. It's being war criminals. And so It's good to see more and more people, and again, this is a direct result of people, the population, people protesting and saying, no, this is wrong, and so you see governments, hopefully more and more will start thinking, it's like, wait a minute, do I want to be associated with this, and then you bring in America, Israel's strongest allies, and what happened yesterday is exactly what we know would happen. I mean, I don't know anybody who is paying attention would be shocked at what happened in the US, because when you have a government that is siding with someone that is literally committing genocide, what do you think people who are prone to hateful behavior and hateful, rhetoric when it comes to stuff like this, who are susceptible to buy into that narrative and then act on it? This is exactly what happens. And this is why it's been so disheartening to see from the government and from the press the narrative that they have put out there against the people of Palestine. So I am not shocked about this at all. It's exactly what will happen when that narrative is out there. When you're demonizing a group of people, what do you think crazy people in your country are going to do to those people that are in the country? This is exactly what they would do. And so when today the president tweeted this, Jill and I are sickened to learn that this crazy person went into this Palestinian family's home, who spent the last few weeks worried about their family back in the Middle East, only for it to come into their house. They're in Chicago. You don't expect this to be happening here. This crazy person, incited by all of the, hate against, Palestinian people, went into them and took out this child, a 6-year-old child, and tried to take out the child's mother. And of course I had to, because I need to censor this on YouTube. I don't want them to censor the video. Took out a 6-year-old child and attempted to take out the mother as well. And so this happened yesterday. And so again, the president tweeted, Jill and I are sickened to learn that of the child, taking out of a child and the attempted taking out of the child's mother yesterday in Illinois. Our condolences and our prayers are with the family. This act of hate against a Palestinian Muslim family has no place in America. Herein lies the hypocrisy, and herein lies the gaslighting. Because, it has no place in America, but you could co-sign it happening in Gaza. You know what I mean? You are siding with a country that's literally committing genocide in Gaza, but you're saying, this has no place in America. But it's okay to go do this stuff in somebody else's country, in somebody else's backyard. So I can, be over here with my hands washed clean, and I could claim that I am heartbroken about this. Speak out. If this act is so bothersome to you, then speak out against it everywhere, not just in America. Why is it not okay in America, but it's okay in Gaza? Why? We've been calling for the U.S. government to respect and at least honor the humanity of the people of Gaza, and they have yet to do it. They have yet to call out what Israel is doing. They have yet to call out the apartheid, the atrocities that Israel has been committed. They've yet to call out the fact that they have had these people in an open prison for years. They have yet to call it out. In fact, this country has funded Israel. So if this is not okay in this country, why are you funding a country that is doing it to somebody else? Why is this okay in somebody else's backyard? And this is a kind of hypocrisy that I cannot take with this country. And so people are going to go off and like, thank you, Mr. President. But it's like, but Palestine, but Gaza, it's happening there. Have you done everything you can in your power to stop it? To say, no, we're not going to support this. So speak out against it. I support you, if other nations come in and, and attack you, I support, but I don't support what you're doing to the people of Gaza, these innocent people who have done nothing to you. The people of, these young people, these children did nothing to you. Yes, you have issues with Hamas. What they did was horrendous. Yes, that is obvious what they did was wrong. Atrocities on either side is wrong. But you can't just call out Hamas and not call out Israel for what they're doing. And therein, for me, lies the gross hypocrisy of this whole thing. Why is this not okay in the U.S., but it's okay there? And again, the people of God, it's like, what happened in Israel, but the people of Gaza have been living with this stuff, this bombings, this indiscriminate taking out of their people for years. And no one in the West says anything because it's kind of like Israel gets the green light to do it. And again, this is what happens when you have friends and you have people in our lives, whether it's family or friends, and you know that they're doing wrong. And you don't say anything. You don't call it out. For me, love people enough to tell them the truth. Love them enough to call them out. Love them enough to rebuke their bad behavior so they don't continue to do it. This doesn't mean you don't love them. This means you absolutely love them. So it just, I can't with this. I'm like, I literally can't with this. Unbelievable. Anyway, moving on and moving far away from that. I just want to belabor that point. Anyways, on to something, back to the fight again, Archewell. It's like, let's take a minute, a breather. Actually, let's do a little music, just a little interlude. Just, actually, this is for me, just to calm down for that, because that stuff is just really, let's see, Dave. What does that sound like? Yes. A little bit of music to take. Oh. Getting better at fading things. At least I hope. It sounds like it's fading in my ear. So maybe it's not on your end, but we'll see. We'll see when I'm done and I listen back to this. But anyways, let's just take a breather from all that stuff. But anyways, back to our faves. And I posted a link to this in our community page today. This is the Archewell's Insight Report. And this is a report that this is what they've been doing for the past year, working with families and youths and getting sort of like putting data together about their experiences online and whether the good, the bad, the otherwise, the kids, students, college students, parents, that they've been working together. So it's like about a 25 page document. It's actually not a hard read at all. And so definitely take a read. And this accumulation of all the work that they have been doing with these groups to try to put together something to be able to present, I guess, to the government to get legislations in place to protect kids or present to the tech companies to be like, look, these are the issues. This is how this is affecting kids. This is what this is what they see and what they hear, or how they interpret what the content that you are allowing on your platform. And so it is really, really, very in-depth, really cool. So a little bit about the report. It's a little bit of a read, but it says, as this report lays out, which has been authored by a key advisor and a leading public opinion researcher and online harms expert, George Craig, we have heard firsthand that living a life online is having an impact on young people and families are struggling to manage. Our mission is to support those parents and caregivers who are desperately trying to navigate their child's virtual lives and to explore how we as a community can support one another in developing solutions to empower families and uplift our collective mental well-being. And it goes on. I'm going to move our little banner at the bottom there so I can read all of it. Again, if you have not subscribed to our channel, go ahead and subscribe. subscribe, click the notification bell so you know when we drop a video, and please like and share the video and join the channel if you're able. It would be awesome to have you as a 2 Cents Crew member. So a little bit more about the report. It says our core purpose at Archewell, we saw that in the little flower thing. Our core purpose at Archewell is simply to do good. Mental health and our collective well-being underpins all that we do and directly feeds into 3 main pillars: uplifting communities, building a better online world, and restoring trust in information. And you see that all throughout everything that Archewell does. We do this both locally and globally. Therein lies our global ambassadors, inspiring positive change with lasting solutions. This report speaks to all 3 pillars of our work at Archewell Foundation and focuses on the pillar of how we are helping to build a better online world. Our expert-led research have involved engaging with parents and young people to gain greater understanding of how social media shapes today's youth, particularly pertaining to their mental health and overall well-being. We acknowledge that a young person's well-being is influenced by various factors, yet compelling evidence suggests that the social media platforms play a pivotal role, and it's evident that not enough is being done to protect young people's well-being or to help them manage their experience online. And a little bit about who the partners are that Archewell has been working with to conduct these survey and get all of this information. So the Archewell Foundation is especially grateful to our partners and session participants who made this insight session possible. These amazing organizations, young people, and parents are working to create positive change in the world, and we are honored to listen and learn from them. So we at Archewell can help to put those thoughts into action. And it says the insight sessions at the bottom on your right, the insight sessions were conducted with the support of the following partners: 5 Rights, Gifted Young Generation, GYG, the Marcy Lab in Marcy Lab School, which is in Brooklyn, that they just visited when they were here in New York, Social Media Victims Law Center, Born This Way, which is Lady Gaga's foundation, Los Angeles LBGT Community, AHA Santa Barbara, which we saw them visit, the International School in Dusseldorf, which they did while they were in Dusseldorf for the Invictus Games, Parents Together, LGBTQ, plus, and college students across the U.S. learn more about our partners and specific work they do at the end of this report. So I'm sure they think they have links or at least information about all of these partners that have worked with them. And again, this is going to be a seasonal report, so I'm assuming the next one will come out in the spring of 2024. So it is wonderful, or, well, it's seasonal, so this is autumn report, so I guess we're going to get one in the winter. Who knows? Maybe. So maybe like every 3 months or so, we'll get a report. So this is wonderful. This is absolutely wonderful. And again, it's like about a 25-page report. So definitely jump over there and take a read. And this is interesting, staying on that, says Bloomberg Law. This came out October 13th, a couple of days, 3 days after the Sussex's summit. It says First Amendment, Section 230, don't block lawsuits. Social media platforms don't, not products, judge fines. It says the companies behind Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and YouTube failed to completely escape hundreds of lawsuits on Friday, claiming the social media platforms cause addiction and harm to children after Los Angeles County judge shut down the company's legal defenses. Meta Platforms Inc., Snapchat, TikTok, Google LLC can't invoke the First Amendment or the Communications Decency Act, Section 230, a decades-old legal shield for online services, to block allegations that they designed their platform to addict young people, causing depression, anxiety, the Judge Carolyn B. Crew ruled. So basically, they were using, First Amendment right, free speech for their platform. They've basically been hiding behind that, to claim that whatever they're on their platform, is free speech, whatever. And the judge is like, no, you can't use that. You cannot use that. You can't. It says like they can't invoke the First Amendment or the Communications Decency Act because again there have been hundreds of lawsuits that has filed against them because some of their content is harming children, and as it says, it's exactly what Harry and Meghan and Dr. Murthy were talking, that the platforms they are designed to keep children on the platform. It's designed to create addiction with the algorithms and all of that stuff, how it works. It's designed to create addicts and stuff like that. It causes depression, anxiety, and all of that stuff that is harmful to kids, and not just kids, adults as well. And so the judge has shut down their defense, like, and so the case is moving forward, and so we'll see what so I guess for me, coupled that with the New York introducing new legislation to to basically to help safeguard kids, I mean, this is going in a good direction. I don't know that it has anything to do specifically with the Sussexes, but reading this again, this was 3 days after the summit, I'm heartened to see that it seems like steps are going in the right direction to at least address this issue, and to be able to hold these companies accountable for the content that they put out there that is harming children. So hey, awesome. Yeah. Anyway, finally, this is awesome. Girl Scout, we know that Sussex says Archewell put out, that they visited the Girl Scout troops when they were in New York. And so that's been on their website. So today, actually, right before I came on, this popped up. Girl Scouts of New York is like, thank you to the Archewell Foundation for celebrating International Day of the Girls with the Girl Scout troop from Troop 6000. We appreciate your friendship and support. And they obviously link back to Archewell. And so it's just wonderful. It's like, yeah. I'm like, I just love it. I love all the relationships that Harry and Meghan and Archewell have been building, whether it's in New York, whether it's California, wherever they are, they build such incredible relations. So it's just really, really, really fantastic. So kudos to Archewell and the Girl Scouts and all the wonderful things that they're doing to protect kids in every single way. Kudos, Harry and Meghan are global ambassadors. It is awesome. So anyway, that's it. That's all I got. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to our awesome moderators, Lydia Church, Nelly, Karen M, Cookies and Cream and Black Reed. Thank you so much for, whether all of you would be in the chat when I post this later or not. Thank you anyway. And thank you to our awesome 2 Cents crew who support the channel on a monthly basis. You are awesome. You are rock stars and awesome Gold Star supporters who support in the chat. Thank you all so much. Could not do it without any of you. Thank you. Anyway, that's it, guys. I love you all, and I will see you next time. Have a fab day. Bye. See you.